Good afternoon. Thanks so much for the opportunity. As Mohammed said, I'm Randy Whiting. I'm one of the founders and I'm Chief Operating Officer of Cephasonics Ultrasound. And I'd like to introduce you to some of the ideas that we have about what we call precision somatic measurements using AI-based ultrasound. What that essentially is, being able to measure stuff accurately inside the body as part of medical procedures. So a little background on our company. We were formed in 2012 as a spin-off from a semiconductor company in Silicon Valley. We build ultrasound engines and platforms for the development and design of new applications and products. And we've started focusing on AI and somatic measurements through ultrasound over the last probably 5 years. We have annual revenue. We have 2 customers who have already received 510(k) clearance for products that are powered by Cephasonics engines. We have a number of patents. We have an additional 5 partners who are working toward commercialization and 510 clearance. And we've raised about $4 million so far in the life of the company. It's led by Richard Tobias. He founded the company. He previously was vice president in charge of semiconductor production for Toshiba. It comes out of the semiconductor business, and it also is very well known as a designer of algorithms for analog data. And we have, besides that, a very strong seasoned team. I think between all of us, we've probably done a dozen or so startups. A few of them have actually gone through IPO. So we've had some strong success and experience in running small companies and to be bringing them and growing them in the market. Our vision, and I'm really glad that Sonic Insights came before me, because George gave a really good example of what you can do with ultrasound to measure stuff. And we really believe that that concept, that idea of being able to measure things accurately in the body, is going to become really pervasive, and it's going to be as easy eventually as taking your blood pressure is today. And if you think about that, the value of that for medicine, both clinical applications and supporting procedures and so on, is really immense. And that's exactly what we do. You know, our mission is to provide the platform, the capability to design in these measurement capabilities to be able to have products, medical technology, robotics, and ones that are specifically designed for medical procedures to be able to identify, measure, and interpret things in the body in real time. Now, if we do that, clearly measuring things provides doctors and clinicians and caregivers and medical devices the ability to determine what they're doing much more accurately. That's going to improve procedures, diagnostics, and even ongoing disease management. And when we talk about measuring things, very similar to what George talked about with Sonic Insights, is we're measuring the location and distance of different things in the body. And I'll give you an example of one of our customers who have done that: density and composition, volume, tissue type, elasticity, and so on. Now, the challenge with the traditional idea of ultrasound is it has been for a visual medium, and it's really designed for people to look at it. And as we move more into this measurement realm and thinking about, I want to have an AI application interpret the ultrasound data, we really have to figure out, kind of from our perspective, how to redesign the hardware and the software platform to move from ultrasound for eyeballs to ultrasound data that can be read and manipulated and interpreted by a machine. So the problem is with ultrasound probes generate a huge amount of data. And typically and historically, the design of ultrasound systems is that you throw away any data that you get from the probe that you can't visualize, that you can't see. The problem is that a lot of data gets thrown away that you potentially could use with an AI application. Less data, less effective AI. So what we want to do is to be able to expand that bandwidth to be able to give the AI application a lot more data. Data that we can't see, but the AI can be trained to interpret that and find really relevant, meaningful information that can be turned into measurements. The problem is that design of systems today that you typically have in a doctor's office that are on the market in terms of commercial products can't do that. There's not enough bandwidth. They don't expose the data. They don't have the right kind of processing architecture to be able to do that. So what have we done? We designed custom hardware and software that allows us to be able to access 100% of the data that is coming from that ultrasound probe. So that's been many, many times much more data that can be exposed to the AI. We've provided a computational architecture within the ultrasound system that can process that data and generate real-time results. And we've built a software platform on top of that that allows applications to be designed to recognize, measure, and interpret things in the application. And we deliver this as a platform. So we work with our partners to have them develop applications, new products, integrate ultrasound into other types of medical devices. And then the idea is that they provide and integrate that as a capability going forward in their product line. We have 9 patents covering kind of a lot of the different things. I won't go into any details on that, but suffice to say it's covered. And today in the market, we're really the only OEM platform for ultrasound applications that focuses on this idea of AI and measurement. And let me give you a very quick example. TDI is a company that built a system based on our engine. They've received 510K. It's a real-time system that gives surgeons, back surgeons, information about the location of nerves, bones, and vessels that are located in and around the incision point for the surgery. This idea allows the surgeon to be able to work much more quickly and efficiently and reduce the effect, especially on things like injuring the psoas nerve, which is one of the most common bad side effects of lower back surgery. This kind of quantitative ultrasound applies in a whole bunch of very large medical markets. We really look at 3 different areas: computer-aided medical procedures, much like the TDI example I just showed you, medical robotics, and diagnostics and telehealth. We think there's probably about a $3 billion TAM just for the AI platforms that we're working in this market. Our business model is essentially we sell hardware, software, license IP, and technology. We work with a selected set of partners who design applications, and then the idea is that as they sell things, our products are integrated into their machines and to generate volume sales. So every time one of our customers sells a product, they have all the sales and marketing channel costs. We just ship a machine to them and generate revenue in that way. We're continuing to work on new technology, most prominently ultra-fast full frame forming ultrasound. This is something we just developed under an NSF grant that we're continuing to work on. And this essentially expands the idea of ultrasound at the high end, not at the handheld, but the high end to be able to compete as an alternative to CT, much higher resolution and much higher data, so we can do much more complex algorithms. Just a quick example of kind of revenue forecasts based on our customers and partners that we have today that are commercializing products. We're anticipating that we'll be shipping 3,000 to 4,000 units per year at an annual revenue of about $60 million by 2025. We're currently raising $3 million on a $9 million pre, mainly for commercialization and building out our infrastructure. And we're looking at a number of exit opportunities, primarily based on having partners who are successful in the market with our engine powering their products. And we're looking at, I think, realistically, an opportunity for a 10x return on investment in the next 3 to 5 years. So with that, thank you so much for the time to tell you a little bit about measuring stuff with ultrasound, because we think that's the direction and a huge opportunity in the market. Thank you.